Okay, we're gonna open the meeting for December 20th, 2012. The meeting is being recorded. We'll start with approval of minutes from the previous meeting. Any questions on the minutes from the previous meeting?
Make a motion to
Second. All in favor? Aye. All right, we'll start with the visitors' comments. You have anything up here? Left, second row. Bob?
Yeah, I was provided some information with regards to the PSAT's website and their discussion group. And there was an inquiry from a lady up in Genesee Township in Water County with regards to filming and recording meetings. And Jeremy, you responded to her inquiry about residents even posting them on YouTube. You know, I think it's an asset to have that. It creates a openness of government atmosphere. And one of your sentences here, unfortunately, there's nothing you can do about it. I was just wondering what the board's thoughts were, and I see you also checked with an attorney on this.
Yeah, I spoke to an attorney about it, and I just asked what I exactly said there. You know, the people, if you read the whole thing, people that being recorded in the audience are the people that feel uncomfortable about it. That's the unfortunate part.
Well, but you know, by law, it's all legal and everything. And there's, I think the positive things here far outweigh the negatives.
Right. Hey, I'm just saying that's the unfortunate part of it, right? Yeah. Is that the people, sometimes people in the audience feel
uncomfortable. No, you said unfortunately nothing can be done about it.
Right.
Okay. And the second thing, we get any applications for the sewer water board?
It's on the old business. We'll get to it when we get there.
All right.
Anything else there?
No.
Okay. All right. Approval of the bill. Any questions on the bill? There's no questions. Can I get a motion to approve the bills?
No.
All in favor? Aye. Okay, treasurer's report.
General fund checking, $81,839.59. State fund checking, $1,119.87. State fund insured money fund, $25,954.42. Frigate, $32,216.64. Capital reserve account, $70,376.93. State fund CD, $39,540. General fund CD, $80,560. Total deposits were $35,822.56.
Correspondence.
Number 1, J Township Water Authority meeting minutes, new upcoming vacancy for January. 2, J Township Sewer Authority meeting minutes. 3, Elk County Conservation District, Hickory Avenue stormwater problem. 4, Robert Cockwood, EQT Burns Fund site. 5, PSATs in Switzerland.
If I could comment on my letter, did the board get a chance to read it?
All right. Yeah.
Okay. Did you get the one today or yesterday from EQT?
I got it this morning.
Okay. Are you in agreement with some of the points raised in there, if not all the points?
Yeah, I'm definitely it's something that we're concerned to keep an eye on what they're gonna do there in the
Well,
watershed. I agree with that.
I mean, if you look at the one today, I was the only addressee on that letter. I did attend the Water Authority meeting and asked them to express their interest to EQT. And I think in the interest of the community, especially with you three gentlemen being the highest ranking government officials, it'd be good for you to send a letter to EQT advising them you're interested in these points and any other points you have to add, you should add. I mean, you know, Mr. Porges of EQT said we want to avoid environmentally sensitive areas. I hope you read the attachments too. But I think this is something that should be a genuine concern of the community because degradation of the water resource there is going to affect a lot of people. It's going to affect the growth aspects of the community. It'd just be a sad thing to happen. And with the abundance of natural gas, there's no need to go into Burns Run. And I hope you would all agree with that. And I would hope that you would send a follow-up letter to EQT advising them you're interested in their thoughts and comments and concerns. Also, I suggested to the Water Authority to get a copy of the excavation ordinance for Burns Run. Did you three gentlemen ever read that?
Got it right here.
Okay.
I think that's important to find out how that holds up against the new ordinance of gas company.
Well, I mean, for what's going on in the forest, it may carry some weight. But once again, it also goes back to the CEO of EQT and his statement at the University of Charleston with regards to avoiding environmentally sensitive areas. So, Keith, are you saying the board will send a follow-up letter?
I think we should, and I also think maybe we ought to just send them a copy of the ordinance, because when P&N was gonna strip up there, that was what they went by too, was this ordinance. They stayed
I think that's going to
out of that realm.
That 500 yards is probably hold up more than anything.
They haven't said that they have any set plans for entering the watershed, to clarify.
Well, they did come to the
I
water.
mean, not that we, yeah, I agree we should send something forward something to them.
I mean, you read the minutes of the Water Authority where they wanted to access some of the Water Authority's land, I think up around Red House. But once again, it sounds to me like they're going in the area. Now, maybe they're just going to put a lateral under Burns Run, I don't know.
Right.
But there's lots of unanswered questions, and even this matter of deferring it, saying they don't have their business plan ready for next year, they certainly know what Mr. Porges said, and what is the company's philosophy in development in areas that has an exceptional value watershed. It's unsuitable for mining based on DEP's assessment. I mean, there's lots of things here. It's a community water source here, probably for over 1,000 customers. I mean, there's a lot of issues here, and I think there should be a dialogue between the supervisors, EQT, and let them know the importance of this watershed.
I tend to agree.
I think we're all in agreement with that. So
Okay.
Yeah,
I think you,
I think I'll make a motion that we do it.
okay, and you're gonna send them the ordinance too.
Yeah.
Now, the latest response was from Josie Schultz up in Du Bois, but it started out with Scott Held, and I've also talked to Nathan Manchin down there. So I'm not sure where you're gonna go with it, but I would be, stop in next week and find out. Thank you.
I'll second the motion. All in favor? Aye.
Does any of you know where the water line's going up there? All these water lines supposed to go up on Gardner Hill?
On Gardner Hill? The
Yes.
only one I knew about Galen that was going was the one that was supposed to come from.
It's supposed to come down across 255, and they say it's supposed to go to Gardner Hill.
I never heard anything about Gardner Hill.
This same one that they're drawing from down here.
Right. Wherever that's going, that's where they're going to be doing the drill.
Well, I know they have a permit behind the elementary school on, the left side of Cleveland.
Right.
Street there somewhere. I don't know where the site.
The last I knew is that water line, Galen, the last I knew, was it was gonna come up and pick up this site on Rebo Hill.
That's the last I heard.
That's the last I knew.
Well, didn't you say it's coming across your property?
What?
The water line?
No. I don't know about a water line.
Gas line's coming across the road.
Somebody said
What?
that was the water line.
Gas line's coming across the
That's
road.
supposed to be
Well,
a gas line.
it's the one that's going back to Ronnie Gill, your Gordy's up there, is a water line. And that's the one that's supposed to come over top of the hill there.
Gas line coming through us.
Yeah, the one that goes behind Ronnie's there, my understanding was it was gonna go, behind AJ's camp, and that was to facilitate that well. That well, you're talking about Gregorius.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's supposed to come right down through our ground there.
Yeah.
That's the same one.
That's a gas line.
That's a gas line. Yeah, we're talking about.
That one back is the water line. One back to Ronnie's is a water.
They both must be back there because
And
one's
we'll
coming
get another one there
gas
too,
line.
because ours is a gas line.
They got it all marked out through, coming down through, where they want to dig it.
Ours is a gas
So
line.
that's coming right out of the river down there in Below Caledonia.
I wouldn't have no idea. Yeah.
That's
I
the
mean,
water
they,
line.
they worked with us as a gas line. Yeah, like I said, the last time you were on, it's going
It's like a
to
17, 18
facilitate
inch gas
the
line.
site behind AJ's. That, well site that's, I think it's still in a permitting process.
Is that a staging area or well site they're putting in?
As far as I know, it's gonna be a well site. But I don't think permits are even through yet, they're still on the, still in its infancy. I know they applied.
Let's go on to the road maintenance and equipment maintenance reports. Anybody have any questions there? No questions there? Move on to old business. Okay, sewer board and water board vacancies. Do you have any for the sewer board? No? What do you, what do you have for water?
Take the pride and Anita Johnson.
Do you have the applications? Yeah, I'll just look them over. There's two water vacancies on These don't occur till January either,
Yeah,
correct?
that's what you're on. The water board in there.
These are already.
Yeah.
What's their thoughts of not going to a five?
You know,
Yeah.
I thought they talked about going to a 540 number last meeting or so.
it was talked about the last, in November meeting anyway, and then it said we're making a decision on that, whether they're going back to 5 or staying with 7. I saw it on the minutes, but I don't know what came out of it. Anybody have any idea?
I don't think there was ever a decision made.
Well, that's my only concern with putting anybody on right now, is if there's debating reducing the size of the board.
I think that it fell to deaf ears.
Well, yeah, I mean, I attended a water meeting, and they pretty much backed away from it with everything that's going on. The second thing, it's not something they can do. I mean, they've got to redraft their articles and corporations and amend them, and they have to vote, approve them. It's got to come to the board of supervisors. You have to approve them, and then it's got to go to Harrisburg, the Department of State.
It's not as bad as to get it done. I checked into it one time.
No, it's not bad, Franny, but you gotta do it.
You gotta do the paperwork.
And right now, the articles of incorporation that are standing are gonna be enforced come January 1, because nobody's done anything.
Well, okay, we'll just have to see. Come on,
Yeah, I mean, these seats aren't available until January anyway, so I say we table it to see what they do. When do they meet? They don't meet till after our next meeting either. I saw it, I mean, I know they have it on their minutes that they would consider their next meeting's the 8th. We'll just have to table it and see what we're going over. The vacancies aren't here till January anyway.
Well, you have to.
We're actually there now.
Yeah, you would make your appointment.
January 1st.
Yeah, you make it.
Yeah.
You're in it.
I'd like to get a definite answer since they have it on their minutes. It's something that they're looking into, the 5 or 7 person board. Just said no decision for May last I saw. But, okay. So let's go to the budget. That's been over 30 days. Even everything's still going there. Are there any more issues with the budget or any questions with the budget? Need a motion to approve the 2013 budget.
make the motion to approve it.
Second.
All in favor? Aye. Okay, Hickory Street, water problem. Oh, after we were there last on Hickory Street, Paul Welder flagged him down and then came and got me later in the day. And have you ever been behind his place to see what's going on there? It's a mess. Well, anyway, we know what all these recommendations are here, but I think we need to look behind his place and see where all that water is going to too.
And the one,
But I think which one of the recommendations here, we might want to talk to Larry Opaleski there and see if he's interested in looking this over and giving us some direction.
and the one up on top of the hill, we didn't go far enough up, it's cut right off, turned right into the same hill. It doesn't cross by, the road anymore.
All that water comes down behind Welder's, he's got his dike built down there to gather it all up and bring it through a pipe that goes right actually underneath his house and all the way out to Dory's front yard. And I don't know, it's just really, his concern was if we open it up more on the top, he's gonna get more. It all comes right down to his back door, you know. So I think we need to get the engineer involved and see what.
I think according to this, there's so many things here to do, I think that'd be a good idea, because then that way you give us, you know, I mean, what we really need to do and what we really don't need to look at.
I guess my question is, who's paying for all that?
Well, that's, I mean,
First, we gotta decide what's gonna need to be done.
that becomes part of the problem too. You're dealing with a lot of, you know,
I
private
understand
property
that.
and
So you're right.
development.
So the question I'm asking is, if you're gonna have the township engineer come in, is the township engineer gonna go out on private property and say, the township, you know, we're gonna do this, I mean, it's,
Well, the stormwater, you know, is an
Stormwater
issue
act
that
problem.
has to be addressed. And we have the right to address it, I mean, but, yeah, I mean, contact them and see, hey, you wanna take a look at this, what's it gonna cost, get a price, I don't know. Just to even get the recommendations, and then we have to say, okay, who's responsible for this portion, that, you know, I'm not saying we're gonna go do it all ourselves, but I think it has to be, there's a major problem over there. And everywhere you walk, you see more of a problem, you know.
oh,
The
I'm
further
not
down the line you
arguing,
go.
I'm not arguing that,
Right.
what I'm saying to you is,
Right, no, I'm not saying we're
I
gonna
don't
go
think
over
it's
there
fair
and
to the
replant the whole
taxpayers.
town. That's
I
not
don't
what
think
I'm
it's fair to
saying.
the taxpayers to go over there and say,
I
well,
think
well, Coppola's gonna move his property around, or Galen, or Howie, or whoever.
I mean, I'm not sure when the events occurred up there, but the county and you guys signed on to a stormwater ordinance over there.
well, that's why
And
I would
what's in
like,
that ordinance? I mean, is there anything in here that provides a remedy or relief to people?
Now, some of this was done in the 40s when they were mining.
no, not this last stuff.
That certainly predates the
Well,
ordinance.
Not this
Yeah.
last stuff.
But the water coming down off there comes from the mining operation.
I'd like to get that, engineer in here, take a look at it. and give us a better idea on what's the best thing to do. There's so many things in this paper, and I know they're all probably good things, but what's the best thing for us to focus on?
Well, I think it's gonna take more than one solution, which is what, you know, he's giving you several different
Well,
remedies here that all need
and I understand that, but the problem started in one area. And now you have it blown to the whole 50 acres.
Well, that's the problem. If you remedy one area, you're just gonna make it worse on the next guy. That's where the problem lies, you know?
I don't know that that's gonna happen.
Well, that's why I was saying, it might be, this is a good time to get the engineer involved and see what he has to say about it.
Let's bring them down and let them.
I think you gotta get the property owners involved at their expense, not at the taxpayers' expense.
We already talked to them. They're willing to us and the ways to work with us too, but, you know, with all these, we don't know what decision to make. We don't wanna make the wrong decision. So I think it's good if we contact them and bring them down. I'll make a motion that we contact them and bring them down and let them read this paper.
See what we can do to see if he's interested and, you know, gives us ballpark, come look at it, gives us ballpark on what it would, you know, what's gonna entail.
At least one of the best things to take out of there and do that would help the most with the water problem. So maybe next week we can call them after the holidays.
You're making a motion just to contact them, is that what you're making a motion?
Yeah, make a motion to contact them and after the holidays and come down and take this, give them this paper and.
Why don't you mail them the paper now?
We can do that, whatever you
Let them
like.
think about it.
Right, yeah, I mean, give them the information and let them see what's going on and let them get back to us, that's fine with
I
me.
just, you don't wanna contact anybody, go do anything unless you're doing the right thing.
And you should mail them a map of the area and perhaps a topo map so you can see the topography there. Just get an idea.
That's what we're after now.
All right, I'll second the motion, to get the engineer involved. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
And I think the property owners should be involved too. Not just
Well, I mean,
hearsay, I think.
We've talked, right, but that's what I'm saying, we've talked to all these property owners, everybody wants
They want to do something, and nobody knows what to do.
some kind of a solution, but, you know, we go and get the engineering study done, and maybe we have a solution. Doesn't mean we're gonna pay to fix everybody's yard.
How much of the problem is actually township responsibility and how much of it is property owner responsibility? Because who's going to pay for the engineer? Are the property owners going to share in the cost of the engineer coming down and looking around and giving solutions?
No, I mean, I definitely, it's at least a 50-50 problem, I mean.
But why should the township pay for the whole engineer cost?
Because we need to get the solution.
No, Franny, you need to do the right thing, which means we should not be paying 100% of the engineering if it's 50 of it is property
You know,
owner.
I don't know if you can call it 50-50, I'm just saying that it all entails our ditches, our piping, and it's a community problem. You know, I don't know what more to say about it.
But the taxpayers should not be paying for the whole engineering bill, Rippy.
We don't even know what the engineering bill's gonna be, but I mean,
Well, shouldn't you
if the study
find-
doesn't get done, then you don't know what the solution is. So we're just gonna spend a whole bunch of money fixing this little piece and this little piece.
But you
and
should
this little
have
piece.
you should have an agreement with the property owners that when the engineer comes down here and he goes and looks at anything that needs to be done involving their property, they should be paying a percentage of the engineer costs.
Well, that can be.
Evidently, you don't mind wasting taxpayer money.
Yeah. Something has to be done with the situation.
But not at the cost of the taxpayer money, Franny.
Well, there's a bunch more out there to look at too. In the meantime.
All right, moving on to the Bennett Gardner Hill Road damage. The attorney's been contacted. He's going to pursue it. He'll be in touch with us when he's got something to tell us. All right, and then on the truck.
Well, the only one I see that's good is
Get the new price on that Dodge, which was quite a bit higher.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was.
They got all the bells and whistles on it, and then some, I don't know. stuff, and I see 05s, 06s, 07s, all in the $30,000 to $35,000 range. I haven't really seen anything outside of that range that isn't pretty well beat up, so. To me, 30 to 35,000 compared to 49,000 for a brand new one. You probably further ahead to go with the brand new one. Anybody else?
Well, Murray Ford's the only one to come in at that price. Murray Ford's the best one that I've seen for the price and everything that they wanted on the truck.
I talked to Ingrid's up there, and he said that the B10 gasoline is the cheaper one to replace parts on and maintain than the diesel.
Yeah, it gets 4 miles a gallon.
That I don't know. No, actually, I mean,
Actually, what?
what the guy told me here from Murray's was that you get 10, 11, 12 miles a gallon out of the gas and upper teens out of the diesel.
You're not gonna get 10 miles a gallon out of it.
Well, I mean, plowing is plowing. You're gonna lose your mileage there, but that's, and it says depending on the load and the user, right there out of the zone, But I did ask that question. So, I mean, that's what are we getting on that pickup out there? About the same thing, aren't we?
Probably,
Especially
yeah.
when we're plowing.
I don't think you're gonna get more than that out of anything.
No.
Not working. Well, the only one in the ballpark is the Murray Ford one. The other ones are too high.
So what are we gonna do with it?
We're gonna use it.
For what?
Plow and hash our little street.
Oh,
Our thing is, when we go out and have cold patch and everything, we gotta climb in that pickup and go scrape it all back. That little dump truck would be the ticket. We have no little dump truck to do anything with, which is not just that little of a truck.
what, 550? They're a glorified pickup.
Well, when you go out and do patching and everything, it's a pain in the butt with a pickup. You need a little dump box out there to do things, and I think it would be nice on these streets. With all the bigger trucks.
It's not a pickup, it's 19,500 pounds.
Right.
It's just, I know what they are.
Yeah.
I know exactly what they are.
Good sized truck.
Might be inspected twice a year, too.
Well, I imagine they inspect it and everything for so long.
What size plow, what are you getting with it?
Everything's on here.
It's all in the package.
Hydraulics and everything's in the package.
9-foot Super Duty straight plow. Just says Super Duty steel snow plow, Boss. That's stainless steel spreader. It's $3,898 now. It's total cost plus the spreader. This is everything complete. 11-foot dump bed. And then you have to have the spreader price on there. That doesn't include the spreader price, which is right here. $38.98.
What's the hydraulic on?
It's electric.
That's,
I mean, Central Hydraulics is another $6,440.
well, would you rather run your hydraulics with an air conditioning clutch, or would you rather run it the way it should be run?
Well, I mean, that's what we're looking at here. That's what we were talking about inside.
And another, you got one out there that has an electric pump on it, that's running, what do you think of that?
I think they're much better. That's old. That's been around a long time. The new ones work a lot faster. The new plows work pretty fast. That's all they are, electric over hydraulic. Well, the only thing I know is I'll make a motion to buy the Murray Ford one. It's the cheapest one we got. It's everything that we looked at for. You got the money now, you might not have it for the gas money. And you have something for a while.
So the decision is gonna be that you're gonna buy a truck with what, the $70,000 money that you got, or what? What are you doing?
That's what we've been talking about, is
What
using
we're
this.
talking about is use 50,000 of it to buy a truck. So that's why we didn't wanna go.
Well, I thought we talked about helping out the entities of the township was my last ordeal. Wasn't, you said you wanted to buy a truck, nobody else said they wanted to buy a truck. I thought you were talking about firemen and ambulance
That's what the rest
association
was
and.
You got $70,000 in, and there's still monies for the firemen and the ambulance. We never made a decision on that either. We haven't made a decision on anything on this money. I mean, we talked about it several times, but nobody's offered any choices up. I'd like to see a portion of that money be set aside for the Caledonia Bridge replacement when the time comes. We've talked about that. We know we're gonna need money for that when the time comes. It's gonna be 10 or 15 years down the road. It'd be nice if that money was sitting there waiting when the time came.
May I say something?
Yes.
How can you make a decision of buying a truck for $50,000 when you have $70,000 and you know what you're gonna do with it yet? You better decide what you're gonna do with the money before.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
No,
$70,000.
We sat here and talked about using $49,000 to
But you didn't make a
$50,000.
decision on it.
Yes, that's why we went out and got the bids. No, that's why we
No,
went out and got the
you
bids.
didn't go out and get bids. You made a
Yes,
phone
we did.
call. There
We
was
made
no
phone
bid
calls.
process done on
We
this.
needed we needed.
They're co-stars.
They're all
Bid process
co-stars, and
required.
bid all needs is prices.
They're all co-star
They're all
suppliers.
co-stars. And that's the cheapest price you're gonna see right there for everything that you want.
Oh, it's everything that you wanted. Nobody else knew about it. I didn't know anything about it. You
You've
guys
been talking
decided.
about it.
We've been talking about trucks for
You didn't.
how long?
I've been sitting here for 3 months talking about it.
You have.
Before we even got.
Was there ever a motion made to
No.
put a bid out for the truck?
No need to
They're
bid.
not
No,
bids.
there were
They're
no
co-stars.
bids.
They're
They're
quotes.
co-stars.
We talked about it at the last 2
We
meetings.
talked
It was
about it
on-
the last 2 meetings.
It's in the old business if you look at your line of business.
We put them out and that's the best price.
So that means you two decided to go to co-stars and you left Lily out, is what it boils down to.
Yes, he could have called anybody.
It was
he
all
wanted
talked
to.
about in
It
the
was all
meeting.
talked about for the last 2 months.
Anyhow, I think we need to discuss what we'd like to do with the $70,000 that came in, you know, including the truck, which has always been talked about since we started talking about these trucks, and what needs to go on from there. And if you want to put it off until next month, then we can do that. But I think where are we going with it?
Well,
That's my
I mean-
Where
question.
you're going with it, I think you're crazy for buying a gasoline engine, first of all. I think you're crazy for putting an electric clutch pump on to run all the hydraulics on a truck.
No, I don't think you're crazy at all.
Well, you don't work on hydraulics.
I don't think you're crazy at all for it.
Yeah.
You can put a direct mount pump on that truck.
Like I said, you know, there's the prices, there's the differences.
There's the
But
prices and there's the difference of the.
Well, yeah, the difference is the difference between a truck and a toy.
That's a truck.
No, that's not a truck, that's a toy. 550 is a toy.
550 is a good sized truck for what we want it for and what we need to use it for. We've got heavy duty trucks out there. This one's heavy duty enough to do it, that little Chevy ain't gonna last too much longer out there. You can tell you. Plus it's just a pickup. That's the half the problem with it. It's not a dump box.
Yeah, but the truck that needs replaced is the blue Ford.
Yeah, you're
It's not
talking- and now you're talking 70,000-80,000 for a truck that size.
the GMC is not capable of picking up the slack of that blue Ford.
all.
That's what I'm asking you. I mean,
I
you purchased that truck, does it have the gusto for that or not?
well,
I mean,
I don't know, you guys keep downsizing the blades and everything, you'll probably be all right.
Well, how about we discuss that in the truck? I'm all for the truck, but we should discuss the other $20,000, what we want to do with that. You got $20,000 more after that, and discuss what you want to do with it.
well, yeah, when it comes to this impact fee money, my opinion, we need to put a percentage of it aside for the replacement of that bridge in Caledonia. I don't care if it's $5,000 a year or $10,000 a year, and you're gonna need $135,000 right now if you put your match down. So you can put a little bit away for the next 10 years, you'll have the bulk of it without having to go to the bank, and you'll have your match ready for when the time comes. That's one place I'd like to put a portion of that money. And what you want to do with the other entities, I mean, I have nothing against giving anything to the firemen or the ambulance or the recreation board. As far as the water and sewage go, they operate with a billing system, but they don't entail the whole township. I don't see that is somewhere we should be handing money out. They have to operate as a business.
Ooh.
I mean, that's what they're intended to do, is operate as a business in a business-like manner.
No, I would say the ambulance supports the whole
Yes.
everyone in the community.
Yes, sir.
And that's, I really wholeheartedly in the firemen,
Yeah.
do the same thing, so.
Sure. Well, you're talking 5,000 for the bridge?
Well, I mean, I'm just putting a number out there. I'd like to see something put away each time we get one of these payments to add up to what's gonna take to replace that bridge. And I don't think, and it can just, as long as you earmark it for that bridge, it can sit right in the capital reserve fund. It doesn't have to be, you know, put aside into some special account, as long as it's there and earmarked for that purpose. And like I said, the ambulance and the fire, and even the rec board, I think they all can deserve a piece of that. You know, we have 70,000 and odd change right now, I don't know what's on there. And we're gonna expect, I'd say, at least another 40 in April, the next payment comes. So, I mean, there's gonna be a lot, there's gonna be more to come here in April. Where it goes beyond that depends on whether they drill any more wells or not.
Well, then why are we buying a 10-cent truck when we can buy a 50-cent truck?
That's not a 10-cent truck. That's a nice little, we don't want a big huge truck.
Nobody said anything about a huge truck. All I'm saying is if you're gonna buy a truck, buy it with the hydraulics that can work.
Well, I mean, I don't have, you know, if you wanna buy that truck with central hydraulics, then that's something to consider, but
All you gotta do is order, it's all there.
and if we order it now, it isn't gonna come until probably the end of the plowing season, and it's not so much that we need it at the moment, as we were looking to the fact that old Blue Ford is, you know, needs replaced in the long run here, sooner than later.
Probably sooner than later.
And the next question is, I mean, the trucks you guys gonna spec, are they automatic, they standard, what are they?
They're all automatic.
All
They don't have
automatic,
any standard.
you buy a standard until you get up in the real bigger truck.
That's what the salesman said, they haven't made a lot of, or standard since when, that's a 550.
standard anymore.
Right.
Ford hasn't
Yeah,
made a
that's
Any of the
standard.
trucks.
I forget what he told me, it was like 4 or 5 years they haven't made a standard in that size of a truck, one comes up.
Even the pickups are going with all automatic.
And I see all this, even the Chevy and the Dodge, they're all going to the automatic, I don't know why, but that's what they're doing.
It's still special order, Mo.
Yeah, I know you can,
I don't think they even make,
Ford, I don't think you can.
I don't think the Fords, you can order them.
I know somebody just got one, they just got a tilt bed,
Well,
6-speed.
a lot of people telling me the automatics are holding up better than I ever thought. And that's what they're telling me. They ain't having much trouble with it.
Yeah.
Well, anyway, back to what we was gonna give, what we was gonna give out. You wanted to put 5,000 on the bridge, right? Are we in agreement with putting so much on the bridge?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know, is that the amount you wanna put on the bridge? Like I said, I just wanna see something put away towards that
Let's just say
bridge.
it this way.
Anybody
Are
disagree
we
with the
in-
fact that we're gonna need that money
No,
in
I'm not
10
disagreeing with that.
years or 12?
I wanna get the truck settled before
I
we
know,
start
we're just-
jumping around all over the place.
The truck?
I guys never thought we'd get a box car.
I think you ought to.
Your
order
issue with the
truck.
truck is the central hydraulics, you wanna see the
My
central
issue with the truck is, yes.
Okay.
Other than that, you think that truck's, you know, you want the diesel
Off in
also.
the
Oh,
back.
I think you're crazy for not buying a diesel.
I don't.
But then you're almost up to the price of that,
Yeah.
Dodge,
And
for
we're
the
up in
Cummins
price
diesel.
of Dodge with everything.
You know, if you add all that in, I think
That's
we
why
would,
we stayed away from that, and the Cummins diesel is the better diesel. That's the only reason we looked at the Dodge, because of the Cummins diesel, and that's one of your better diesels. The other diesels are not the greatest. Well,
I
anyways,
don't know, does anybody do the calculations on the mileage, you figure out the mileage difference, what's gonna pay you back in fuel cost,
I don't think there's gonna be much difference in fuels.
you don't think?
No, I don't.
Well, I'm gonna tell you, you don't know anything about diesel.
Ask Kim, he can tell you.
Well, if you're gonna go all that, then you might as well buy the Dodge for, what, $70,000 or something it was?
I had a diesel when I plowed with the V10. I was still on the full mark and he was out of gas. Same identical truck, but only the diesel and the V10.
That one
He was out of gas and I wasn't. I was still on a full tank.
No,
Yeah.
I mean,
if you went diesel and you went central hydraulic with everything else there, the 11-foot bed, the snow plow, the stainless steel spreader, it's $62,679. So that's what that adds up to go that route. Now, I mean, that's a good chunk of that 70,000, obviously.
Well, and I understand, and all I'm saying to you is, I would say that you're looking to buy a truck for longevity, you're not looking to buy a truck for next 2 weeks. And if you calculate out the mileage, if you do the math, gasoline versus diesel, that diesel truck's gonna be in the 14, 15 range pretty near all the time, because they really don't care if they're fighting their margin. And the gasoline is gonna be pushing, it's probably gonna be 3, 4, and on the best day, 10.
You're gonna get probably 10 out of it.
So,
It's automatic.
yeah.
Yeah, they're both automatic.
Well, you know, that part we want to just put this off until we
I think
receive
you-
the
I
extra
think
money
you oughta-
in April, and then, you know.
Well, that may be a good idea, but I think there should be some more research on it other than just what the salesman says, you know.
Well, yeah, I talked to the salesman, I talked to the garage up there too, you know, as far as the gasoline and diesel. He said the repairs and the maintenance are cheaper on the gasoline.
If you're gonna buy a new truck,
Twice as much.
spec the truck with your warranty. We did it with, you do it with a backhoe, spec the truck with a 5 to 5.
I know, they should say on here, the Dodge come down.
You didn't ask for it.
Just here.
Well, they
No,
should
it's
show
in
you.
some-
A diesel motor should be guaranteed for 5 years, 100,000 miles.
100,000 to
This
diesel.
is 3-year warranty here, you know, that's body in place.
As I said, the motor's probably guaranteed up to that.
Yeah, you're gonna find it, I think you need to go back and do some more research on these trucks. All I'm saying.
Well, I'm saying if you wanna go up to something that's gonna cost in the 60,000s, we might as well wait until the next check comes through, and then we have 110,000 instead of 70,000. You know what I mean? So we can give some of these other places this money, and we can get this money set aside for the bridge and things like that.
And that's fine. That's fine.
Well, let's table the truck for the time being. How's that sound? I'm looking for some warranty information. You wanna discuss what we would like to do with the rest of that $70,000, or you wanna wait to see how this truck stuff
Oh,
pans?
well, no, I honestly, I mean, I think you should put some money away for the bridge, whether it's, you know, 5,000 this time and 5,000 on the next check, and earmark it for that bridge or bridge repair in general.
Right.
You know, I mean, I don't care if it's earmarked for one bridge, if the Spring Run Bridge goes in the creek tomorrow, you're gonna need money to fix it. So, I mean, I think maybe you earmark it for bridge repair.
The idea is we still got a whole book full of stuff with bridges in there. You know what I mean, too, that we didn't get done this year.
Yeah, that's all minor stuff there.
Yeah.
And this is the idea of, if you wanna get this, you know, on that TIPS program, if you wanna get this bridge replaced. And we all know it doesn't need it right now, but probably 10 to 15 years from now, well, if you set $5,000 aside out of every one of these checks, you'll have half of your down, you know, your contribution from the township without borrowing. And as far as the ambulance, the fire, and the rec board, I kind of like to see, I know the fire department's come out and said this is what they have, but I mean, you know, if we want to give them something for a specific purpose, like they had some apparatus on there that was a couple $1,000s, we want to give them money. I don't know if we have to actually tell them exactly what it went for in our accurate key report, if it just has to say that it went to the fire company. I mean,
I'm not sure.
we'll have to get clarification.
Well,
It's probably
let's
all
get
for
clarification, and I'm not against, I'm the same with the ambulance, I mean, maybe there's something they need, maybe
Right.
there's something that, so,
What
yeah.
kind of price are you looking to give each one? That's
Well,
what
No, I don't think you want to give them a flat price, like I
I
said.
don't
If they
either.
come out and say we need $1,800 for apparatus, then,
Yeah.
okay, well, we can do that.
Yeah, I see what you're saying.
Yeah, I think that, would, you know,
Because I think you're gonna, I mean, you have to report all this by April of where it's gonna be spent, or where it's planned to be spent. So you're gonna have to tell them, you can't just say, well, we gave them 5,000, you're gonna
No,
say,
no,
we
I-
purchased this
yeah, you're
equipment for the fire company. We-
Well, why don't we,
you know,
why don't
maybe
we,
they need, for lack of whatever, a set of jaws, or
Right.
you know,
Another truck.
another truck, whatever. Irregardless, whatever they, you know, here's a percentage towards that specific item.
well,
I think that's a fair way to do it.
Call them or write them a letter stating to give us some feedback on what
Well,
they
Fire
need.
Company did.
Yeah,
Right, they did. Now, I think we should maybe contact Andy.
I think, that's what I'm saying, send them, contact them, send them a letter, I'd rather have the
Contact
paper.
records if you remember.
Send the ambulance a letter stating that, you know.
And I don't have any problem with the record either.
That's what I said, they can talk about it after, what they have coming up. I know we lost a few, springs over there in the park this summer, the kids busted, well, they were as old as I am. Okay, well,
Okay, we'll send them out letters then.
all right, now let's move on to new business. That state checking account, we just need a motion to close that, she doesn't use that anymore.
I'll make it.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
And block on the garage. The garage, where he just did the block work, they hit it with the loader,
Yeah,
and then crack, and Dennis said if we want him to, he'll grind out the crack, and definitely that new grout that got cracked, and he'll replace that. But it's gonna be an extra cost, obviously, so I had to put on here so that everybody knows, you know, if we see it comes in over his original bid, that's what it is, and we have to decide whether, I mean, it needs to be done. He's gonna replace the broken
well, I'm gonna ask
block.
this question, I understand, I looked at that.
Right.
But how come he didn't finish the, why didn't he go up and do the whole top? Why did he let the,
What do you mean?
I thought we were fixing the whole corner right to the top of the building.
I don't know, he fixed it up to where he thought it needed to be fixed, is what he, you know, I mean.
Okay.
I don't
My
know.
understanding was they were gonna fix the whole corner of the garage with the top
Right.
10 or 15 blockers just sitting there, they're loose.
Just whatever's.
Well, I don't know if they're loose, I
Yeah,
don't think
they're,
they're
you can look
loose,
at them,
you
there's
know.
not,
But
they
there-
ain't holding any of them.
There is other, I don't know if he talked to you or not at all while he was here, there's
Other
other
problems with it.
Well, yeah, I
grout
understand.
work
that.
problems
Yeah.
and broken block, and outside of what we bid out too, that he
Right.
addressed, but he said it's nothing that's pressing, that has
Right.
to be. The
Right.
building's not going anywhere now, and the French drain should resolve the problem, but I mean, we just need to get that out there and maybe, make the approval for him to do what work needs to be done there from that damage.
Well, let's get it done.
Either that or is it something that these guys can do?
Well, I don't know. You know what I mean? Replacing the block in the middle of the wall like that, the way where it's cracked is the trick, you know what I mean? It's knocked out. If you go on the inside and see it, it's really split and knocked, it's pushed in. I think you'd rather have him do it than.
I think you better have him, he's here with his
These guys do it.
stuff and, just have him finish.
Yeah, he
it
just
up.
asked before he pulled his stuff out whether we wanted to fix it.
Just
or not.
fix it.
Just finish it up.
Make a motion to fix it.
Okay.
Okay. Second it, all in favor? Aye. All right, now the reorganization meeting is, Monday, January the 7th. And we want to discuss the possibility if we want to combine the monthly meeting and what's it immediately following. Because it's, be the following Thursday, actually, the week following Thursday. The idea was brought up.
I don't care.
Combine two into one for
Yeah, I don't
January.
care. It doesn't matter to me.
You got that, Franny? Have the reorganization meeting and then have the monthly meeting immediately following.
Okay, then you're just gonna go back to.
Then you're good for the month of January.
Okay, yeah, that way you're done.
What's it time?
6 or 7.
Usually 7. isn't
It's
it?
always 7,
Yeah,
7 o'clock.
January 7th at 7 o'clock with the monthly meeting to follow. Okay, and we have a junkyard license. Get the hammer out.
I've seen that.
You're getting me now.
She told me she didn't touch that.
You have to move it.
That's it, huh?
And this is just what's Max, right? This was Max up there
Yeah.
at the valley, and you're just taking it over. and
Yeah,
moving it.
Well, it's our property.
Change it, yeah. You're
He's
putting it in
getting
your
out of the
name.
lease and we're just putting
He's
it
getting
like.
out, you're keeping it going, you wanna
Replace
get
it, Mark.
it in your name, right?
We don't even know if we're gonna do much up there, we just wanna keep
Ricky's-
the license.
So the other boy, he couldn't make it, he's gonna have to put it his name.
Okay. Just need a motion to approve that? Is there?
No, I don't. I'll make a motion.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Alright. 1 second. We're in Nicole Roads and it's, 64 by 27 and a half modular home. And it needs to be approved by water and sewage yet.
tentatively approve it.
Where's the address at?
It's over on T-Berry.
T-Berry.
What is it?
That's right.
West T-Berry, down the end of the street there. I'll second the motion.
All in favor?
Just the motion to adjourn.
Oh my.
I'll second it. All in favor? Aye.